In the last 9 years, we've helped hundreds of e-commerce brands grow their revenue using one channel that most brands completely neglect: SEO, search engine optimization. The right organic strategy can allow brands to rank on the top of Google for terms that high intent customers are looking for, leading to a consistent flow of revenue, which can either reduce or complement ad spend. So in this video, I'm going to break down our exact SEO strategy that we use to help e-commerce brands rank #1, drive consistent sales so that you can just copy and paste this process to dominate your competition. Let's dive in. So #1, we start with content creation, which actually starts with topical research. Now, topical research is about researching topics first, themes and groups of semantically related terms, then organizing them into clusters. This gives us a content foundation that we can build around buyer intent and product relevance, not just search volume. Typically, when you think about keyword research from an SEO perspective, you're looking at keyword volumes, you're looking at those sorts of things and trying to figure out, okay, well, we want that volume of traffic coming to our site. That is old school thinking. That's not the way SEO is done in 2026 and beyond. We look much more at topics and themes, and then the layer below that is keywords, and then below that, we look at planning out the content based on those. So here is an example of what that looks like. So if we think about keyword difficulty and keyword volume is typically where most keyword research starts. What we're really looking for though is an extra level on top of that. We want to figure out what are the topics that we want to be dominating for. We want topical dominance. In this respect, firstly on Google, the whole extra part to this is topical dominance across a range of platforms, which I'll get to in another video. So once we understand the topics that we want to dominate, then we get into keyword research, then we start planning out the content and then producing the content. Here is an example of how the topical analysis starts to break into different topics for a particular client. This is a specific client in the long life sciences industry, and we can see that rejuvenation is where most of the keywords within their site currently live. Then we've got ingredients, NMN, NAD, right? So this is for a particular site. Understanding how your site is currently broken into topics and then figuring out, is that where our customers and how our customers are searching? Are we providing the right content for them? Then we need to figure out, okay, of those topics and of those keywords, how is the intent level? Are we talking about informational terms? Are we getting commercial? Is it more sort of mid-funnel? Now we start to get a good feel for whether we are actually acquiring users to our site who are likely to buy or who are at least in some kind of buying mode. And then you're building around that. So that's topical research. Mapping the content to the funnel is really important. What we want to do is really have a mix of targeting quick wins, but also long plays. Now, the quick wins are important. Yes, SEO is a long-term process. It's something which is built over time, building authority, building a strong foundation, good technical, etc., which we'll get to. However, that's not to say you can't get wins in the short term. As a business owner or as a marketer in-house, you do need to show some results early if you want to find more time or more resource to continue to invest in this channel. So it's really important that you're looking for those low-hanging fruit opportunities where you might already be on page 2 or page 3, as opposed to new content which doesn't exist on your site yet. A good mix of both of those things helps you deliver wins now and build for the future as well. Now, it's really important that the content is tied back to revenue and not just traffic. Okay, so when we're looking at, say, top funnel terms that potentially have low difficulty and high volume, does it actually equal revenue? Is there a straight line that you can see between those terms and that searcher and a transaction? If there's not, kill it. Tools that we use internally to help build this out in terms of the research are Ahrefs, SEMrush. We use Keywords Everywhere, Surfer. We're also using a bunch of AI tools as well to help us get more efficient, and also to just, test some different custom GPTs and some different RAG models that we've created in-house. So we're using ChatGPT and Claude primarily. By the way, look, if you are looking for a team that can implement all of this rather than working your way through this yourself, then, feel free to get in touch. The link will be in the description below. But otherwise, this video is about showing you how to rank your e-commerce site. Next up, we need to think about creating content that ranks. So you need to start by thinking about the top 3 ranking pages for your target keyword and for your target topic. Have a look at the structure of those pages. So let's say you are going to, if we use this example from before, so let's say there is a specific NAD, so it's bottom funnel. It's a chemical for this particular client. Do that search yourself. So here's the product here. We can see the shopping items at the top of the page. We can see the sponsored results. That's all well and good, but what we really want to understand is these organic results, which do generate a larger portion of the clicks. What is consistent about the top? Because it is an informational topic, there is an AI overview, which is referencing some here, but they're not particularly commercial. As we make our way down to, we've got Wikipedia here, we've got Fortune, we've got the National Association of the Deaf. Now, if this was a term that we wanted to try to rank for, we'd open up that page there and we'd start to think about, okay, well, how much content is on this page? What do they have in terms of graphics, videos, FAQs? What do they got in terms of customer UGC, any type of customer testimonial, anything like that? Making our way and really kind of mapping out what does a top ranking page look like. Then we go to position number 2, same exercise, position number 3, and we start to build out a template for what Google is responding to. Now, when we're talking about commercial pages, targeting buying phrases and buying keywords, we need to be really clear with the information. So e-commerce, we're talking about clear pricing information. We're talking about product specifications, availability status, shipping details, call to action buttons. It's really important that we've got all of that information. Now, if you want best practice, how much information, what helps people buy, just think about Amazon. The UI UX on Amazon sometimes looks a little bit dated, but in terms of the information presented, the ease to get that information, the mix of reviews and descriptions and customer testimonials, sizing guides, all sorts of things. If you want a really good guide as to how to build out a fully fleshed out product or commercial type page, Amazon's a pretty good example. Lastly, include those competitor content gaps in your brief so that when you are documenting everything you've got here, your dev team and your design team know how to build that UI and UX to put yourself in a position to deliver a good user experience that Google has proven to reward. Next up, we have technical SEO. Now, technical SEO is not a one size fits all. It really is prioritized based on business size, growth stage, impact, also based on the CMS or the platform that you're using. Not every site needs a full technical overhaul. For smaller brands, we're going to focus on core issues that block performance, like indexing problems or crawl inefficiencies, possibly broken internal links. If we're talking about bigger brands, right? So if we think smaller brands, maybe a Shopify site, something like that. Bigger brands, maybe it's Shopify Plus, maybe it's Magento, maybe it's Salesforce Commerce Cloud or Contentful or any number of large enterprise size e-commerce platforms. You're thinking 100K plus products and SKUs, complex infrastructure. Here is where technical SEO plays a much larger role. So site speed, crawl depth, structured data, these sorts of things can make or break performance. During site migrations, technical SEO is non-negotiable. So if you are moving from one platform to another, you really want to be auditing and QAing everything from redirects to canonical tags, schema, XML sitemaps. The rankings and the SEO profile that your current site has are super crucial for your success moving forward. So bringing those across to the new site is only going to happen with a really robust process. Now, in terms of technical SEO, we follow an impact versus effort model. So every fix is really weighed against how it sort of impacts commercially. Is this particular item that we think is going to have a big impact commercially viable? Is there a business case that we can actually get ROI from it? So for example, if our SEOs are saying we need to restructure the navigation menu to make a particular collection page closer to the homepage because of search volume, because of user intent at a level that we think we can get more traffic through, the actual cost of that needs to be weighed up. The actual ROI of that needs to be weighed up. And then we decide whether that's the risk and the reward is worthwhile. And again, in terms of like the tools that we use, we're using AI-driven systems like recommendation engines and anomaly detection engines to prioritize and to optimize faster. Now, some of the technical SEO deliverables that move the needle for our clients in the e-commerce space are site speed optimization, straightforward. But, for Shopify stores, it could be as simple as installing the Lightspeed plugin to compress images and optimize code. We focus on core web vitals. We don't obsess over it, but it's important, especially if you're looking at those 3 other sites that you've pulled up that are ranking for a term and they are dominating a particular topic, then yes, core web vitals might be another factor you look at that you want to close the gap. Mobile speed, very important for e-commerce. And then just any red flags we are treating as urgent. Now, from a site structure perspective, when we talk to technical SEO, orphan pages, old product pages that aren't linked on your site, we want to clean those up. We want to make sure that we've got proper URL structure that makes sense, both from a hierarchy perspective, that there's alignment across the main purpose of the page. We want to make sure that we've got our XML sitemaps submitted to Google Search Console, so Google Search has a really good understanding of what's in the site. And lastly, and I've already sort of touched on this, in terms of your most important product pages, they need to be really easily accessible from your homepage and from category pages. This next one, from an LLM visibility, but also a bigger search presence. So when we're talking LLMs, that is obviously ChatGPT, but it's also AI overviews, it's Perplexity, it's Claude, it's all of the others. Now, schema markup is the number one item from a technical perspective that we are really recommending for our e-commerce clients. You want product schema to show price, availability, star ratings directly in search results. Think about when you're doing that search in e-commerce, you want to buy something, the more information you can get there on the SERP, the more likely you are to click through. Building authority, hugely important. So there's a couple of different options here. There's obviously traditional link building. Key point here is to make sure that you are building links from relevant websites within your industry with users on that site who are also users of your product. That relevance is the number one item which you're looking for when you're building links. Relevance, also some quality traffic coming through. Make sure the traffic from that site is not tanking. You don't want to be linking to a site which is dying. Looking at domain authority as well, but relevance really trumps domain authority. And then focusing on guest posts, earned media on sites, looking at different options to replace broken links, looking for options out there where your competitors are linking and you think there's an opportunity to get a branded or a non-branded link to your site. Really important. Now, domain authority is what we're trying to build here. It's not the be all and end all as to whether your site will rank or not rank, but it does have a positive effect on getting ahead of your competition. So you could use either Ahrefs or Moz or SEMrush. Their authority score has been proven to be quite accurate. If you've got competitors who have a really high authority and you've got a low authority, then you are going to need some aggressive link building. UI and UX can close the gap. If you've got a really strong, engaging site, you don't necessarily need to catch their authority, but you will need to close it somewhat. Definitely take advantage of the opportunities when it comes to digital PR as well, and any type of PR. LLMs are loving brand mentions almost as much as they like links. So it doesn't have to be the old school, must be a no-follow link, about an exact non-branded term. That doesn't work as effectively these days. You want to have a nice, natural-looking web of links, mentions, follow, not follow, brand, non-brand. And that's exactly it. That's our exact SEO framework that has helped hundreds of e-commerce brands #1 rank on Google and drive consistent revenue growth. We won a bunch of awards with this. This has just been an overview. There's a lot more that goes into it, obviously, but if you're serious about using SEO to grow your brand, you really should be looking at these key tactics I've shared with you today. If you're interested in having an agency do it for you, feel free to get in touch. We can help with SEO, we can help with paid media as well, making those channels work together. Have a look in the comments below for a link to our site. Love to share with you a free audit of your current SEO profile for your e-commerce site if it's of interest.